Hello everyone and welcome back. I am so excited. We are at the end of the top 100 games of all time. And this is the top 10. These are the games really send me to a desert island. These are the 10 games that I will bring with me, even if it's desert. Does it make any sense? Well, some of them can be played solo, so that makes sense. Total sense. And I make do like Castaway, carry some coconut and play with them. Anyway, if this is your first time seeing this video, please subscribe. And you guys, if you belong to this category, yes, you too subscribe, please. And don't forget to check out my social media patrons or Instagram. And without further ado, let's start it. I'm so excited. We need to start it and get to talk about these exciting games. So number 10, we have a game that this is, I think 4 years ago, was my number one game of all time. And now it's number 10 just because I don't play that much. I played it a lot, now a little bit less. I really would like to bring it back to the table. And this is Scythe. Scythe is an engine building sort of worker placement or action selection and area control. Mostly it's the area control. Set in a dystopian Russian period of time where you have farmers and you have mechs going there. Excellent game. The cool thing, you have this board that you take your actions, and during the game you can upgrade your action. You have a top action and a bottom action, and when you upgrade your action, you actually free the bottom one. So every turn gets stronger and stronger. You have mechs that go into the board and you start controlling this area. There are expansion that they add some sort of airships. There are new faction. You can play up to 6 players or 7 players, I believe. And then you have a campaign. Rise of Francis is an amazing campaign. I loved every single game of that campaign, and I would like to play it again. I think now I played Scythe so much that I can see some repetition. It seems like, especially the initial turns, this is what you want to do in the initial turns if you want to do well. I don't care. I just really solid game. The area control, that going up to in popularity to increase your scoring is very cool. Making a mech on the map sounds very cool. It's not as confrontational as you'd expect. From the box seems like, oh, it's a war game. We're using the map. We're fighting each other. Combat is a very minimal aspect, which I like. And I like the combat system. With very deterministic. You have your card, you flip the card, and you add some values that, depending on the faction, you can add, and that's it. And you can totally ignore combat if you don't want to. And it's also a race to some sort. It's a race to finish the game if you want to, because as soon as someone completes, I think, 6 stars, the game is over. So very cool, excellent game. And Stonemaier just this is knocked out of the park. The best Stonemaier game in my collection, and this is Scythe. At number 9, we have a game that I think is also one of those that everyone in this hobby should have, not for themselves, but to introduce people to this hobby. And this is Century Spice Road. It's a very simple deck building resource management. You have cards, you play a card to do whatever it says, gather resources, exchange resources, or you grab a card from the market. And eventually you are setting yourself up to buy cards that have victory points, and those are paid using the resources that you gather. Every player can play extremely quick. You take a card, or you play a card, take a card, play a card. We play so fast at some point, so wait, I think you are 2 rounds ahead, because I was just taking the cube. They thought I would do just pass the round. So we need to slow down. This game is so fast that need to sometimes slow down a little bit. You can skip turns. And even at 5 players, super easy, super addicting. I'll tell you, I played once, I want to play it again, and I want to play it again. And this is with experienced player, and this is with new players. Excellent game. Number 9, Century Spice Road. And number 8, we have a game that it was last year. It was last year or 2 years ago. was number 2 in this list, and now is slowly falling down because unfortunately that's the kind of game that is once and done, and they haven't released new content for this game. And this is Chronicles of Crime. Chronicles of Crime is an app-driven game. So if you don't like apps in your games, then forget about this. But it's an app-driven game that helps you discover or experience a full investigation of a murder case, a robbery. It can be many things. This game has different settings. There's the base one, so you have kind of modern setting. You have the noir, you have the redwood, you have the Chronicles of Time, where it goes in the past, in the present, or no, you go in the very past, like medieval, then you go Renaissance, I think, and then in the future, very cool mechanics are introduced. And it's kind of, if you're familiar with the game Sherlock, the consulting detective, it's kind of similar, but with the app. So what you do is you go in a location and you scan the QR code, and you have this character talking to you, and then you can scan another QR code, maybe an evidence or an item, and they will interact and they say what they think about, or I don't know what you want me to say about it. And at the end of the game, you answer questions, and so you score points based on how well you did, which doesn't really matter to me. I really enjoy the experience. The cases are the right difficulty to don't make you feel stupid. Consulting detective, I feel very stupid when I read the answers and or to see that how quickly I could have solved it. This one, it doesn't. So very satisfying. I hope the Lucky Duck Games will bring it again, or some new content. I remember at some point they show like a Teotihuacan. I don't know how to say Teotihuacan. I don't know. You tell me. Serious, never show up again, and then nobody talked about it anymore. I don't know, but they're coming out with the Dark Quarter, so we'll see. Anyway, number 8, Chronicles of Crime. And number 7, we have a new entry that should immediately up to the top 10, and I think it's gonna stay there because that staying power is excellent game. And this is Dodo's Riding Dinos, and I put the Dodo Dash because it gives a little bit more for me, to enjoy. If you have Dodo Riding Dinos, the first one is the same game. The Dodo Dash is an expansion, adds more stuff. It's more gaming, but the feeling is the same. What is it? It's a racing game. You have a Dodos on dinosaurs. So racing game, I like it. I like dinosaurs, I like Dodos. No, I'm not sure about Dodos, but I like the whimsical combo. In this game, you are racing with your dinosaurs. Very simple. You have a hand of cards. You play a cards and tells you how fast you move. You have normal cards. You have aggressive cards, which special powers. But if too many people play aggressive cards, you don't get that power. And then you have some green cards that allow you to manipulate or do other stuff in between turns, so a little bit more chaotic. And during the race, not only you move, but you shoot projectiles, bananas, you shoot a log, you shoot a meteorite on top of the opponents, and if you hit them, they move backwards. Yes, it sounds dexterity, but it's very, very light. It's very, very silly. It moves so quickly that you have the racing feel, and I call it Mario Kart in a box. So if you like Mario Kart, this is the game you want to check it out. Don't be discouraged by the idea, oh, it's a dexterity game. I've seen so many board gamers say, oh, it's a dexterity game, but once on the table, they loved it and they want to play it again. Dodo Dash adds more, like you have traps, you have freaking tiles that you don't know what's going to happen. You have a golden dodo that gives some benefit, some negative effect. You can drift on the curve, like you have the boost in the Mario Kart, right? If you hit the boost correctly, so if you roll the dice correctly and you get the number correctly, you have this boost on the turn. So I like that ideas, but either it's fine. Number 7, Dodo Riding Dinos. And number 6, we have another new entry. And this is a part of Ticket to Ride Legacy, the most played game in 2024. And this is Arborea. This is an excellent worker placement game, set collection and resource management, where you have villages trying to recreate a biome where creatures needs to come back after some bad magic happen. In the meantime, you can give some gifts to gods, some gods that will give you extra action. And the cool mechanic is that you send your villager through paths. You have several paths, and if you spend time on that path, meaning if you don't take that action, your path, that worker or villager move forward, like it's exploring more. So you have these tracks moving forward every round. So at some point you can decide to unload and go out of the path, and you go down and you get, trigger a cascade of bonuses, actions, resources, etc., etc. It's very interactive because you may want to go in path where other people are because they move faster. At the same time, when you got the resources and you don't spend them, no, first of all, another thing is when you got the resources, you don't, those resources are not for you but for everyone. There is a communal area for resources, and when you got the resources and you don't use them, you score points. But obviously you left lots of resources for the next player. If you use them, you don't score points, but the other player doesn't have resources to buy cards and do other stuff. So very, very interactive, very, very cool. All the components are excellent. The look, I like the look, although it could be overwhelming. The only thing, maybe the icons could be a little bigger. This is a long board, so depending where you're seated, you don't see very well. But oh man, I want to play it again. This is Arborea. Number 5, we have another modern classic, another game. It should be in your collection, no matter whether you want to play with your board gamers or you want to introduce it. And this is Azul. I'm putting this cover because for now is my favorite of the bunch. I tried the glass Sintra, didn't really enjoy it, and now I have also the Summer Pavilion, which I'm enjoying quite a bit. I didn't play as much as this guy here, so I don't know how it stands. Obviously for now it's the new game, so I want to play it more, but any Azul that you've seen around, try. These are excellent, and this is really, really good. I like, yes, the combo that you can build, and I like a little bit of meanness that you can have. The game is very abstract. In theory, you should build tiles, and you're a tile master. I don't know what the theme is, but what you do, you select tiles from some circle that they look like coasters, but they are called factories. And what you do, you take these tiles, have to be, you can take as many as you want, as long as they have the same color, and then you put on your board. And as soon as the row is filled, you slide in and you start making this grid, kind of a Sudoku style. So you cannot repeat on the same line, on the same column. And if you build organically, if you build from the same block and you extend it rather than scatter, you score more points. You score points for completed row, completed column, for if you have all of the same color. Lots of scorings, very, very quick. We play now in 25 minutes or less. Excellent, excellent game, very, very addicting. Number 5, Azul. And number 4, we have a big Eric Lang game, and this is Blood Rage. Blood Rage is dudes on the map, Vikings, fighting for the island, and invoking gods, some creatures that can help this fighting against other clans and control the land. It's area control, and basically, I don't care if kind of broken. There's I read somewhere that you have some sort of strategy you should go all the time, and then that's significantly better strategy. I'm not such a good player to know how to do it, and as you see, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do, so I don't care. I always enjoy it. Yes, drafting the cards is important. Going with the mission this is the way to go, and you can score lots of points. But again, it's I enjoy the process. I enjoy the look. I enjoy fighting. It's definitely a 4-player game that this game shines. And if your Vikings die, there's also a reason to make it die. You can score points on that. Very, very cool. The miniature, excellent. It's a big box, very epic. But at the same time, it gives you some of meaty decision to make, especially in the drafting. Excellent, excellent game. This is number 4, Blood Rage. At number 3, we have a system. that really started in 2008, and it took the world as a storm. And he did it again in 2020 for a different reason, and I'm talking about pandemic. I'm putting here the legacy one because the one that I enjoyed the most. But the base game is also a game that you can introduce to anyone. I don't own it anymore, and I don't want to play anymore because I know that this is actually the best game in terms of what it offers. And this one you can play with anyone as well. It's more expensive, but not that by that much, and you can play it only once. It usually is about, it's as low as 12 scenarios up to 24, usually consider 17, 18, depending on how well you do in the game. It's an amazing experience. My favorite one is season 0, followed by season 2, followed by season 1. Excellent game. I love them all. It's really an experience that cannot be replicated in terms of mechanics and story. The story is a little bit weak, but the mechanics for every round what is introduced is really, really excellent. And this is number 3, Pandemic Legacy, whatever season you pick. And number 2, we have a space theme game. Usually I'm not a big space theme game player, but this one does something that I really like, and is keeping everyone engaged. And you play also when opponents are not playing. It has dice. This is Space Base. In Space Base, you build your engine of spaceships and you try to get their points, and when you think you're the first one to score 40 points, it wins the game. So another race, and that's also why I like it. But the main reason I like it, you roll dice to activate your cards, and every player can activate their cards if they have those numbers in their tableau. So you always are incentivized to follow other people's turn. And there's one card that I really love, is the card You Win. If you can if you can roll 12 with 2 dice 2 times in your game, and you have that card, which is also expensive, you win the game. I never seen it happening. I barely managed to put the first cube there, but I really gonna go for it. It's really the idea that you can do this shoot it to the moon. I really enjoy. It's a fantastic little game. It's not super easy to explain, especially the green the green banners that they go through other rounds, that you need to activate in specific situations. There's always a little bit difficult to explain. Some symbology is a little bit difficult, but when it goes, this game shines. This game is amazing. Number 2, Space Base. And at number 1, what we have left? What did we forget about the top 100 games of all times? Well, we have a game that is really sings to me, is everything that I want. Is has a video game feel, is a symmetric, beautiful component, beautiful art. Love to think about it, and this is Root. Root is essentially a coin game, so you have this kind of interaction, a counter interaction that you need to do constantly, and all the game comes around a deck of cards that is crazy good. Like, I don't know how they designed this deck so well, that allows you to do many things, interacts very well with the factions. There are so many factions, every faction is different. There's new coming out, and I'm very thrilled to try them all. I'm gonna probably I should make a video of my favorite faction is Roots. This game is not for everyone. It's very difficult to explain at the beginning, mostly because every faction plays very different. But if you have the patience to sit with some players that are willing to learn, if you go through 1 or 2 rounds, it will really bring the best, and that most people will enjoy. And there's an amazing app on your cell phone that really teaches you the game very well. Play that app maybe first, although it's a quite expensive app, but I have it. I need to have it. I need to play Root also during my commute. That app manage most of the things for you, but you can follow how to do it, how to teach the game, and how all the faction works. And also now the latest faction is gonna be on the app as well, so I look forward to download it and learn this game even more. This is my favorite game. This is my number one game of all time. Not only because I like it, but also I see the masterpiece behind. I see the years of this game behind. It's not just because I enjoy it. It's also the what's behind this game, how solid, how well designed and put together. So my number one game of all time is Root by Ledger Games. And here we have it, my top 100 games of all times. What do you think about it? Please leave in the comment below, like this video, share with your friends, subscribe. You know the drill. This is not your first YouTube video, am I right? Thank you very much and see you next time. Ciao.